Hey, welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be talking about a few things that wealthy people invest their money in. If you're familiar with my channel, thank you for coming back again. And if you're new on my channel, consider checking out my channel. And if you find value in some of my videos, consider subscribing to the channel. And also, if you like this video, please show me some love by giving this video a thumbs up. If you are familiar with some of these wealthy people, they often invest in things that will generate money for them in the future or somehow increase in value. They became millionaires by doing some of these things. So let's talk about some of the things that they put their money in. Number one on the list, which is actually the least one that they invest in, is art. If you know that some people invest in paintings and invest in a lot of antiques, and these things are things that will generally increase in value over time. I remember someone like Bill Gates actually purchased a book that was worth, I think, $33 million at some point. And this was almost, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, somewhere in that range. The other thing that people invest in is their retirement accounts. Wealthy people would often make sure that their future is safe by making sure that they have some retirement accounts in place. And you want to make sure that, either through your company-sponsored accounts or through your own personal retirement accounts, you just have to figure out what works for you and your situation and make sure that you put money into it on a regular basis. The key thing here is time and compound interest, because with time and the compound interest working in your favor, you are able to build this account into large amounts of money. And also when you're old, you would have something to fall back on that you can use towards your expenses and also feeding yourself and taking care of your loved ones. The third thing is partnerships. A lot of wealthy people would often partner with other people to work on deals, to start a business, and all these businesses would generally yield some profit. Some obviously may go into losses, but at the end of the day, overall, if you do your due diligence before you invest your money or your time with somebody, you may come out ahead. And to be honest, you don't necessarily have to have a lot of knowledge or a lot of skills, but you must have something to offer in order to go into partnerships with people. And if you can find trustworthy people that you can partner with, this would definitely speed up your process and you may be able to make a lot of money in time. The next thing is farm assets. Now, a lot of wealthy people believe in the production of food or production of animal products. And if you can get a hold of a large farm that you can actually turn around and start creating, something on it, maybe through farming, maybe through poultry or through rearing animals, this can easily generate some money for you and you can actually, become profitable. The next thing that a lot of people invest in is life insurance. The goal is always to make sure that if they are no more, that their loved ones are taken care of. So if you haven't gotten life insurance, well, you need to think in that line and start working towards one. Now, there are two types of life insurances. We have the term and the whole life insurance. Now, the thing is, the term is always just for a duration of time, and the whole life insurance is just the one that covers, the duration of your life, whether you're young or old. But the point is, having one in place would definitely help. The next thing is cash assets. You have to understand that having some cash set aside for specific needs is very important, especially when it comes to emergencies that could come up on a short-term basis. And also, you may be able to plan for future things that you will use the money for. And that is very important, because if you put your money in investments that may lose value on a temporary basis, you may not be able to meet those demands or those goals that you're setting for yourself in the near future. And that's why having some of this money in cash is important. And the wealthy people do these things. The next thing is mutual funds or diversified investments. The key thing here is this. You need to understand that in order to become wealthy, sometimes you need to minimize your risks and maximize your gains. And by investing in mutual funds or ETFs or diversified portfolio means that you are diversifying your investments and your hard-earned money is not just put into one basket that could lose value. The next thing is bonds. Rich people often invest in bonds. Why? Because you need to understand that bonds are basically money that you lend out to maybe the government, or you lend out to corporate investments, or you lend out to people. And the goal here is that over time, they will pay you a certain interest over time, and also by the time your bond is up, when it reaches the maturity date, you will get your money back. So it's a sure way to create passive income and also minimize the volatility that you may experience in the stock market. So if you are thinking of getting into bonds, you should think about it. But you got to remember that there's so many risks that could be associated with bonds. One is the fact that the person you're borrowing your money or you're lending your money to could default and may not be able to return your money. The other thing also is that interest rate risks. The point is, if you have new bonds that are issued at a higher value or higher interest rate, people will not find your own holder bond attractive. And that means that you might have to sell at a discount in order for you to be able to get some money out of it. But if you hold your bond to maturity, then you have no worries at all, assuming the company does not go bankrupt. And generally, the most common bonds are always the government issued bonds because those are usually safe and reliable. And that leads to my next point, which is stocks. Rich people love their stocks and they invest in stocks. You need to have some of these stocks in your portfolio because remember, they often return about 7 to 8% per year, and you stand a chance of making it big through investing in stocks, especially if you find the reliable companies or companies that are able to grow over time. This is something that you need to consider if you are new to investing. The next thing is real estate. A lot of wealthy people often acquire real estate because they want to diversify their portfolio and also increase the chance of success. So by having real estate in your portfolio, it helps to obviously minimize the downswing of the market that you may experience in the stock market. But also, real estate is a good way to create passive income. By having real estate in your portfolio, you may be able to create a passive income that is very consistent and safe. And please, if you found value in this video, consider giving this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider joining the channel.